Hi, I'm Chad, and I'm gonna go over the best spring fertilizers for you to use. It's March, and it's time to fertilize for our warm season turf grasses. If you've seen some of my videos and you want some help, I do online consultations, and I also have these awesome lawn kits for sale that help you with pests, fungus, and weeds, all measured out, guide by guide, how to use it, so you're still doing it yourself, but it's like I'm there to help you. If you're interested in any of that information, email me at turforganics904@gmail.com, and I'll send you over that information, as well as the information in this video. So if you want to reach out to me, turforganics904@gmail.com is the best way. Also, sending a like in this comment on this videos really help. Let's talk about spring fertilization. So for most of us in the warm season turf grass, March is going to be the best time to fertilize. Now, timing is very important, and it can absolutely depend on soil temperatures and winters, but I'm gonna simplify this by the freeze zone map. So we have a temperature zone map that we have on the screen here, and you can see most of us in the warm season are in 10, 9, and 8. Most are going to be in 9 and 8, but South Florida gets, of course, 10. If you are in zone 10, early March is going to be absolutely your best time to fertilize. So that's going to be when you want to bring out your spring fertilization, get your lawn back going, because in zone 10, the soil temperatures really don't even drop that low. So you can go ahead in early March and get that fertilization out. Now, zone 9 is a lot bigger of one, and I would say zone 9 is anywhere from mid to late March, depending where you're at in zone 9. If you live closer to zone 8, so like North Florida area would want to be around a late March, where Central Florida area would be closer to mid-March. That's a good guide. Anywhere in zone 9, depending on how cold of a winter you've had, that's going to be mid to late March is going to be the time to use this spring fertilization. Now I'm going to go over the best type of fertilizers as well. And now zone 8 is going to be late March and even into early April. Those areas get significant freezes at times, maybe even a few times a year. So the grass took some big damage. It's going to need some time to wake up and recover. And also those soil temperatures need to warm up a bit more. So doing that, even up to mid-April sometimes, is going to be the best time frame. So a quick recap of that is zone 10, early March, zone 9, mid to late March, and zone 8, late March to early, even to mid-April is gonna be a good time when you can start your spring fertilization. Now, the pre-emergence has already been down. Most of those places, February should have been the best time to apply your pre-emergent, but if you're watching this and you have not applied your pre-emergent yet, go ahead and do that before your spring fertilization. You can apply your pre-emergent and then your spring fertilization right after. The timing's a little bit off, but it's better to do it than not to have it at all. So late is better than that, not at all with that spring pre-emergent. Now, we're gonna go over my favorite fertilizers. And what I've done is I've taken all fertilizers I've found on Amazon, because this goes out to a big range of people, and I don't wanna recommend something I see at my local hardware store and you don't. I'm gonna link all of these fertilizers in the description and in the first comment, so you can go right to them and buy them from Amazon, so that way everyone watching this, if you want to get exactly what I'm saying, you can. But the most important thing about this video is getting something close to those numbers, especially having your nitrogen, which is your first number, twice as much as your potassium, which is your last number. Now, the first fertilizer is the Anderson's 24011. This is a great fertilizer. It's got plenty of nitrogen, slow release, and it's got just about a half the amount of potassium. This is one of the higher nitrogen fertilizers, but it is a slow release, so I feel very comfortable using it. I really wouldn't go anything over the 24 nitrogen, but overall, this is great. And then we have the Lesco's 24011. To be honest, the difference between the two is probably very minuscule. I would go on what you can probably get the best deal on. If you really want to get the 24011, either one of those is great. Whatever's the best price, that's what I would go for. And then we have the Lesco 24211. Phosphorus is not something, especially in Florida, we want to use a lot of. One, it's not the best for our ponds and streams and rivers and things like that, because it can create algae blooms at excessive levels. And it's not something the lawn needs a lot of as well. but I do like a little bit in the blend. So in my preference over a 24-011 to a 24-211, I like that 2 phosphorus. It's a very little amount, which is not going to do any harm, and it kind of puts the whole formula together. That way you're getting all 3 macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all in one blend, and I feel like they all complement each other really well. So a 24-211 is one of my favorite fertilizers just because of that blend of all 3 macronutrients. Then we go to the lower end nitrogen fertilizers, which still works well, is the Anderson's 1608, and this has humic acid in it, which is awesome. Getting a fertilizer and a soil amendment out is great. And now I know it's, of course, not nearly as much nitrogen, but I always tell people, you can always apply more and you can't pick it back up. You can go ahead and do that 1608 with the humic acid at whatever the recommended rate is on the bag. See how your lawn looks, or even less than that, see how it looks, give it a month. If the lawn hasn't quite responded how you'd like, go ahead and apply a bit more. So you can always go back and apply more nitrogen to get your look that you're going for if you use something that's a little bit lower nitrogen like this. But the humic acid is an extreme benefit and is almost like a steroid for the fertilizer. That will complement the fertilizer very well and help it be more accessible to the plant. And then this one's my favorite overall. It's the most expensive, so I really don't blame people for getting this because the price is quite high, but the benefits are also quite high because it's delivering a lot in one bag. And that is the Anderson's 1648 with humic acid and micronutrients. So this one has it all. It has the nitrogen is twice as much as the potassium, and it has a 4 phosphorus, so a little bit more phosphorus. 4 is about as high as you would ever want to go on the lawn, and you would only want to apply that 1 to 3 times a year, ideally 2 times, but those low numbers of phosphorus are going to be okay, especially using at the proper label rate and being responsible with it. But again, I love all 3 macros. Is a great blend to put that fertilizer together: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, then the humic acid as a soil amendment, and that humic acid can help have more nutrients available to the plant, so you can get more out of that 1648 having with the humic acid blend. And then on top of that, micronutrients, which I call the vitamins for the lawn. So this is an all-around blend for your lawn. Like I said, it comes at a high price, so I don't expect everyone to do it when you see that, but it is an absolute great blend with everything you need for your lawn, and it's a wonderful start to the yard. So my 2 favorites would be the Anderson 1648 with humic acid and micronutrients, and then the Lesco's 24-211. Those 2 are great fertilizers. All of these are great fertilizers, but those 2 are my top picks to use in the springtime to get your lawn going. And again, timing is really important. In my preference, I'd rather fertilize a little bit later than a little bit earlier, because if the soil temperatures aren't right and we're still getting cool nights, your lawn's not going to wake up and respond no matter how much fertilizer you use. I mean, technically, if you go overboard, you'll force your lawn to be green, but that's not the right way for the lawn, and that's not the right way for the environment. The lawn has pretty much been sleeping and hibernating. It shouldn't go from that and then boom, gorgeous green the next week. It's gonna have a slower process to wake up. This fertilizer is going to help give it a boost, but let's make sure that we wait till it's warm enough. So if you're wondering if you should, I went over those times, wait a week or 2 after. You know, if you're supposed to be around mid-March, do it in late March. You know, your lawn might not be as green as your neighbor soon enough, but you're gonna get more out of your fertilizer, and your lawn's gonna thank you by slowly waking up, having more nutrients available. You paid for the fertilizer, you wanna get all out of it. If it's too cold, your lawn just won't respond, and you've wasted money. So by doing it right is really, really important. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. If you're interested in the lawn kits, online consultation, I can email you about these spring fertilizers. Email me at turforganics904@gmail.com and let me help you have a better lawn. Everyone, thanks for watching, and better call Chad.